Welcome, everybody. I think I'm live right now, live streaming. Welcome from the Pure Energy Healing Academy behind you with all those strange things in the background. Oh, Ganesh. Look at them two hands there. What are they trying to say with them two hands over there? Them two hands there. What are them two hands all about? What's going on in that room? What's he wearing? Who's that? Who's he got? Oh my God, not him. Yes, suspect. So I just thought I'd jump on and say hello, but I also thought I'd jump on and play a couple of stuff. Oh, hello, hope you're well. Just wanted to know working. Some started plus the holiday, however. Just thank you. Okay. I'm not going to find it on here. Anyway, it's okay. Welcome, everybody. I was going to show you the just a change of the book cover on The Ancient Art of Flower Reading. Who are you, Mr. Bayersky, to write a book about the ancient art of flower reading? I don't know. I just thought it was a lovely thing, and I learned from beautiful Shirley, who taught me, and then I proceeded to read flowers for tons of people. Loads. Why? Just really enjoyed it. Loved flower reading. I remember doing many circle nights where there'd be 50 people plus 75, 100. And I'd just say, tonight, bring a flower. Just pick a flower from Mother Nature, or bring a flower if you go past a flower store, just bring a flower. And then I'd have a massive bunch of flowers anyway. I'd go and buy maybe about 40, right? And then I've got 40 flowers. And if somebody forgot a flower, I'd say, just go over there and pick a flower and bring it over to me. So I would be sat in the center and everybody would be able to listen, which I was, I think part of me was like, I hope everybody's okay, not bored with this. Afterwards, people would say, Mark, I got so much from listening to every single message you said to everybody. I don't think it was nosy. I was very respectful. I never went too deep. I never went to things that like people would be worried about me saying in front of a group. I was very respectful for that. The only time I'd ever go really deep is that if it was just me and you, that was it. And then I could just go really deep into things. But, we just touched the surface. So flowers have an ability, a gift that it gives us, just like plants, just like fruits, just like vegetables, right? Right? I mean, every vegetable tells us what is good for our body. Every fruit tells us what's good for our body. You all know this by now. So those beautiful moments when you realize, wow, yeah, you split a carrot and you look at it and you think it just looks like my eye. It does. It really does. When you just break a stick of celery, that sounds like a bone snapping. That's right. It's good for your bones and so on, right? Well, these are the signatures. They're called signatures of nature. And flowers have a signature of spiritual signs, messages, deep sometimes. I always remember a guy saying at the very end, he came up to me and it was called Jack. He's still on my Facebook, actually, Jack. And he said, it's not the flowers, don't you? It's not the flowers, don't you, Mark? Like, pertaining to that, it was me. And like, actually, it was the flowers. I read the flowers like, it's not me, it's the tarot cards, because they help me see. And then I see a picture and no, it's definitely the flower. The flower's definitely telling me something, telling me everything. But, you know, each to their own. People believe what they want. And I'd never had ego anyway to think that. So for me, it was like, I really enjoyed it. So the first person would sit down and they'd give me the flower, and then I'd start reading their life from the very roots, or from where it was cut upwards. And I'd look at the stem, I'd look at all the leaves, I'd look at how the leaves were bending, which way they were bending, if they were bending in, bending out, if they were anything, if the stem was bendy, or if it was like, can't bend that, if we bend that, it's going to snap. All of these things are relative to your body, so that the center is your life and your physical combined. And depending on what you feel in that reading and see, like, okay, you know, you're lacking in a little bit of water in the center. Life is a little bit, you know, dry, boring, dull, and so on. And then you look at the stem and there's not even a single leaf on there. So, okay, now you can see this person's strong, confident, person is happy to be on their own, not real much conflict with people in life, just gets on with it, and is happy to stand in their own power. You see how it works? Like, it tells us everything. So I read for literally hundreds and hundreds. Imagine reading for 12 solid years. So sometimes I'd take out groups of people, often did that up into the mountains or wherever I was in Bali, and always say to them, if you ever see a flower on this journey, don't look for it, but if the flower jumps out at you, just tell me and we'll go and sit next to that flower. And yeah, I just really loved it. And for some reason, I always felt that I wanted to keep that alive. I wanted to keep the flower reading ancient art alive. So if anybody could write a book that anybody could understand, it would be me, because I ain't intellectual. I haven't been programmed by the system, you know, as our dear once friend who's passed now said, I am what did he say? Come on, Bob Marley. Come on, what did he say? I forgot now. I am not educated. I am inspirated. You see, if I was educated, I'd be a damn fool. And I don't want to be a damn fool. I want to see things clearly, easily. I want to be able to share that clearly, easily. No baffle brains with bullshit here. Never has been. It's just a simple guy. And if he doesn't know, he doesn't know. It's, I ain't got a clue about that. Been many a times I've been on radio shows with multiple people, and you know, they're talking stuff that, like, I just don't. I'm sorry, I can't help you with that one. Don't know. Okay, move on faster. Move on there. I don't baffle brains with bullshit. I don't make stories up. If I don't know, I don't know. I don't know. Pretty simple, really. And why should you be embarrassed if you don't know? I don't know. I've never experienced that. Who am I to talk about that? I talk about stuff that I feel I'm passionate about and that I can see through bullshit. But if I don't know an answer to something, I'm more than happy to say I don't know. Therefore, when I decided to write a book about the ancient art of flower reading, I wanted it to be compelling. I wanted it to be like all my books, really simple. And so that when you finish, you can say, you know what, I think I've got a grasp of this. I think I understand what that leaf means when it turns inwards or when it turns outwards. Or, yeah, I understand the colors. I understand why that flower is built that way. As I look at you and see, wow, there's resemblances here. You know, it's incredible how you are attracted to something that gives you the answer to who you are. I was fascinated by it. Fascinated. Soon as I heard Shirley read One Flower, you've got me hooked. I want to know what this is, because what you just read about me is like you knew me for 10 years and you know nothing about me. And yet when I picked the flower and gave it to you in a group of, I think there were 4 of us, which was a spiritual awareness night. She wanted to, help people become more aware of their spirituality. I was just hooked, line and sinker. I want more. Please teach me more. And through the years, I learned more and more. It took a long time, but I think the thing about me is I think I make things that easy that it's right. You don't need years of practice, because I've taken all the stuff that might have been a little bit complicated or a little bit too much to say, no, you don't need all of that. Let's break it down and make it simple. And so I made this book. I wrote it with the help of Arlene, of course. She always helps me. Together we created this book, and with her great writing skills, and yeah. And then I asked around and it took ages, managed to find somebody, which was really nice. And she's created the flowers. And the flowers at the back of the book, 50 pages, well, it's 100 because there's a page for the flower and then the page for the channeled message with regards to that flower. So not only are you getting a book that helps you understand how to read a flower for somebody, but also you've got 100 pages of a beautiful flower like a poppy. And then at the side of it, I channeled a message about that. So you can say to your friend, you can say to a friend, I mean, won't work all the time because there's not every flower in there that you could, but you can say, name me a flower that you like. And if you know that flower's in there, then you could read it from them. Say, is there any other flowers that you like? Or name me 3 flowers and go with the first, second, or third. So go with the first. If it's not there, second, third, you should normally get one of them in there and you will get the right answers. Beautiful, really beautiful. Everybody who everybody, maybe 7, 8 people now, maybe 8 people, I've said, am I all right? If you want, only if you want, I can share a channel message if you tell me what's your favorite flower. Normally they'll say it's like I did it for my son, and my son is not really into what I do, right? But he said, wow, that's relevant. That is relevant. Like, good. If he says it's relevant, then we've channeled okay. That's brilliant. So we've got a list now, very, very lovely list. A list that hopefully when the book comes out, you will receive the book at the normal price, but I will also, at the back of the book, I've asked for 1 extra page blank so I can write a channel message for you as well. And that is free. So if you go to info@markbayerski.com and say to the girls, please pre-order me a book. You don't have to pay for it. You just say pre-order me a book. That'll get you my book with the free channeling written message that is personal to you, for the same price as just a book, what it costs. So normally what I do, if you look at my website, is that some people say, I just want the book. Some people say, oh, I want a channel message. So I have to sit down and write that channel message out as well. So, it's like much more than a signed copy. And that's a little bit extra. So if you go there, if you haven't done it already, please go there. And yeah, brilliant. That's it really. So that's like a little bit of something that I'm excited about. We're nearly there. We're just about there. It's the final stage of what's called display editing, like the editing so that all the word, like, I don't know if you know about books, but because I'm not massive into all of these things, but there's so many things that are important. So when you look at this book, this is my first book. You can see how neat it is on both sides. So all nice and straight there, all nice and straight there, right? So the reason why that is because the editing of this book is that I wanted it left and right, straight left and right. So that's also what I'd like in this book. rather than just to the right and then it's all wiggledy and stuff. Anyway, that's been done now. So we're nearly there now, hopefully. The front cover has just been changed slightly, just a little bit, but we're nearly there. And then I'm going to order, I don't know, maybe 5,000 copies to begin with. And let's see where we go with it. Let's see if people love it and let's see if people appreciate it. There you go. That's it. Right. What are we looking at, Mark? What are we talking about? I have no idea. But I did listen to a message and I did put it on here somewhere. So let's play this message.
If I were to choose to live my life over again, I wouldn't live it in this way. Do you know Winnie the Pooh? Yeah. The end of that book would bring tears to my eyes for years. Christopher Robin, the little boy, now has to go to school. And he's telling his friends, the toy animals, that he won't be able to play with them so much anymore. And what I wasn't aware of when I went to medical school and when I was a physician is how driven I was to justify my existence in the world. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. When you're driven to work too hard, you actually ignore what matters. And what matters is what you were telling me last night about how much it matters for you to spend time with your family. So every summer, you take a bunch of weeks away from your podcast and you just spend time enjoying your kids and your wife and your family. And I didn't do that. I always felt I had to keep working. And the book ends with the statement, and whatever they do, wherever.
Okay, this, I have no idea who this man is, but he sounds very loving and kind, and he sounds like he's either a psychologist or somebody who, sees things out of whatever. Now, I have a different take to this guy, because do I think he's spiritual? No, I don't think he is. I don't think he's spiritual, but I think he sounds like a good guy, and he sounds like he's thoughtful and he thinks about stuff. And although he talks about, he cries, he cried a lot, he got upset a lot when the characters of Winnie the Pooh wouldn't play together anymore. And like he said that he wished he hadn't have worked as much and as hard in life so he could spend it with his family. If somebody was to ask me the same question, I would say, this is my whole understanding of life, is that it is important to find your passion in life. It's important to find something that you enjoy doing. Now, if you ask me, did he enjoy doing what he did? Maybe, but not much. Because my understanding of what this conversation is would be, well, I tell you what, mate, sorry, but I really enjoy my life. I found my purpose. And I love what I do. Do I want to stop doing what I do and run to all my family and grandchildren and play with them? Will I look back in my life and say I should have spent more time with my grandchildren? Look, let me tell you something. One thing, families need space. Children need their space. And if I'm always there, your kids are going to say, you know what, Dad, it's lovely having you here, but just maybe a little bit too much. So if I always say to my son, if you need me there, if you want anything, if you want me to be there, I'm always here. Just call me. I've always made that clear. I've always said to my two children, my door is always open anytime you need me, right? Should I see my grandchildren more? Maybe, but I'm having a great life. I'm helping many people. I spoke to my little grandson today. It was his birthday today, Reed, and I said hello to him. He's only small, but I'm like, hello, and I'll see you in a few days. Do I regret anything? No, I don't regret nothing. I love my life. I love what I do. Why? Because I made a choice, a conscious choice at school when I was a kid, not to believe the bullshit. And I couldn't believe the bullshit, and they could not feed me the bullshit. It would not happen. I was always whacked. I was always outside all the way through till the last day of school. I was always every week outside Mr. Murray's office ready for another caning. They could not control Mark. Couldn't. Uncontrollable. It's in all of my paperwork where they said to my mum and dad, he's uncontrollable. He doesn't listen. I do listen. I listen so hard. I had a teacher called Shirley. I had other teachers. I listened. I absorbed, and they all said to me, Jesus Christ, you just watch me do a flower reading. You've just done it. Oh my God, you are incredible. This is what they said. You're incredible at what you. How did you just do that? Right? So don't tell me I'm stupid. I'm only stupid because I don't want to read stupid lies and manipulations that the government are forcing children to do every day. So I was smarter than the average bear. And it seems like whoever this guy weren't as smart as the average bear, or maybe didn't have the confidence or the strength to say this is bullshit. Maybe didn't even see it. I get what he's saying, but I also think, no, regret, no. Your life is what it is. I don't live with regret, my dear friend. I'm sorry that you do, but I don't. I've learned to heal, move on, and I would not say that to anybody. I would not say to you, you need to see your children more. You need to spend more time. Forget about your work. No, actually, I love my work, and I'm always there for my children, and I will never look back and wish anything away. I only wish that my children and grandchildren are healthy and happy and have a lovely life. And if I see that they're not, I'll be there to do my best, right? Other than that, I'm always here, and I'm not. You ask my son, I will always send him a message. Is it okay if I come and see you? And he's like, what are you talking about, Dad? What are you saying this for? And because I have integrity. I have respect for a household. I understand how it all works, and I don't want to interfere. So, of course, I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to be knocking on your door, expecting to come in because I'm your dad. No, I've got respect. I respect your privacy. I respect your time. So, lovely guy, lovely sentiment, but not my sentiment, dear friend, not mine. I actually, what I would say there is, find something that you love to do. Find something that, if your children are upset with you because they're upset because you're not there enough, well, what's wrong with your children? What's wrong with them? Well, probably because they're upset with their life. My son doesn't say anything. He's busy and he loves his life and he's enjoying himself. It only seems to be the people that can't resolve the shit in their life that they have to then look for shit to find with other people and have a go at them. See me having a go at my son? No. See me having a go at my ex-wives? Nope, never. Do you see me having a go at anybody that is around me that I know? No, never. Why? Because I've resolved all my issues, because I've worked on myself. Simple. So I don't use that kind of psychology on people. I don't say those kind of things. I don't use that clickbait bullshit. I don't use that. That is his internal issue and problem. So he's trying to make up for his life. What he's saying there is he's made a mistake. Without saying it, he said, I have made a big mistake. I chose to ignore family. I just didn't bother with them, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, you won't get that from me. What did you do, son, all your life? You didn't come and see me. You didn't come and see me. Oh, that's not what family does. No. It don't work like that. No. You see, if my son wants to see me, it's because he wants to see me, because he loves me. If my son isn't coming to see me, there's a problem somewhere, and I need to resolve it. But most people won't look. People don't look in the mirror. They point the finger and blame. And when you point the finger, there's 3 pointing back at you, which is true. So you hear lots of mums, I brought you up. That's not what a mother should feel. You should be like. Wonder why she don't want to come and see you. Every time you talk, never comes to see me. Shut up, Mark. Let her figure it out for herself, or she won't. I had to figure myself out. Nobody told me about my mistakes. I needed to figure them out myself. And that's why we're here. So, yeah, again, I have a little different perspective on these guys who seem to be growing with popularity now, spreading these clickbait stuff like, smart, super intelligent. But when I look at it, I can read straight through them all. It's not the sentiment. I can hear what you're saying. And but I just find it interesting. Right, let's listen to this one.
If a man has no friends, pay attention. If a man has no friends or a very small circle, don't get it twisted. That is not a red flag. That's a man who has mastered himself. A man without friends or a very small circle is a very, very secure man. He's learned that quality matters more than quantity, and he doesn't need an audience to validate his worth. His confidence comes from inside, not from the approval of others. He's not afraid to be alone because he knows his own strength. He is very selective with his energy and who he lets into his life. That is a good quality to have. He walks away from drama and gossip because he has built a peaceful life for himself and does not want to let that go. He doesn't need to be surrounded by people to feel complete. He's comfortable, he's grounded, he's steady, and he doesn't waste time on meaningless relationships. He knows that what he wants, and he doesn't waste time with it. So if you come across a man with very few friends or a very small circle, don't underestimate him. That's not loneliness. That is discipline.
It's great. It's great. You're laughing. I guess you're laughing. There is truth, very much so. There is truth in there. There is. But really, you can't just bottle it up. Well, she's bottled it up because it's great clickbait. It's great clickbait. This is going to be good for all the men who are miserable on their own. They can't find anybody who's going to feel, oh, yeah, maybe I feel like... No, actually, if you really truly understand what she's saying, she's actually quite right. But you can't just say that for every man who doesn't have any friends per se. But there is truth in what she said, definitely truth. And I like what she said. And I thought it's nice because you don't often hear it. It's a different perspective. We can have a joke. There's a reason why guys don't have any friends because they're liars, cheats, and they're trying to hide some things. You can't really bottle that up and sell that as. But there are men like that. Very few in the world, by the way. Very few in the world, because it's a lot of hard work. It's hard work to get to the place where you don't need friends. It's very hard to get to a place where you feel happy in yourself being on your own. Very hard. It's not easy. It takes years sometimes. Some people might be very natural and just kind of gravitate to not having friends anyway because of many reasons. One could be that I'm sick of being shat on. I'm sick of it. Then there's other reasons that I just literally can't cope with too many people around me, and I'm very a loner, and I actually believe that's more to do with frequency, energy, and vibration. I don't think it's about friendship. I just think that some people kick out an energy that always makes you feel, if you are that kind of person, that no matter who you are with, it feels like people want. They want, whether it's your energy, frequency, or vibration, whether it's your mind, whether it's your ear, whether it's just your love, they just want. And sometimes it can be very, very, it could feel like somebody's got your throat and are just strangling you. So it's hard to meet somebody who doesn't want something from you. And the problem is, everywhere you go now, everywhere you go, London, Munich, New York, everywhere you go, it seems that people are being conditioned and programmed to want something of somebody rather than just to be in the company of somebody for no reason and just to be happy and not to want. So I remember telling you all that I went to America to LA, and I went to a place because a friend of mine had a Soho House membership, and God knows how much that was. And it was a beautiful place. You went upstairs, but instantly I felt like somebody's grabbed me around my throat. And what I could feel was everybody in there was levitating towards, it felt like piranhas. Awful thing to say, but it felt like piranhas. It felt like they were younger girls trying to look for an older, richer man. It looked like that everybody was just trying to hustle. Everybody was just trying to market themselves. And anybody who was talking to somebody else was only interested. It was like a dating, them dating nights where you've got a minute to talk to somebody to see if you like them or not. Well, it was similar to that, but in a business sense. So I literally, I was crying. I had tears in my eyes. And I was at a place called Laurel Canyon. And although it was very beautiful, and the property that I was staying at belonged to a film director who directed many, many famous people. Like, there were billboards of all his films that he'd done, Kirk Douglas, Charlie, I can't remember his name, Clint Eastwood, loads of them. And I used to walk around that area. And it didn't take long. I went to a gym as well. And it didn't take long for me to realize I needed to get out of here. It did not feel genuine. I couldn't explain it fully, but it felt like it was like a rat race. It was like everybody was trying to get to be somebody or to be rich or powerful or famous. And it just felt off. It felt false. And I can't stand false. I hate false. Can't stand it. And, it's just something that I've never gravitated towards, people who are false. So I didn't like that at all. Couldn't stand it. So, I just wanted to share that with you. So that was interesting. Have we got anything else? Let's have a look. Is there anything else on here that I've missed? Mr. B. Let's listen to this one.
Why do some evil people have great lives? Watch.
You prayed and believed your whole life. Never done anything wrong. And here you are. You're the nicest person I know. I am the meanest. You have dementia. My life is perfect. Explain that to me.
Sometimes the devil allows people to live a life free of trouble because he doesn't want them turning to God. Their sin is like a jail cell, except it's all nice and comfy and there doesn't seem to be any need to leave. The door's wide open till one day time runs out, the cell door slams shut, and suddenly it's too late.
Great sentiment. Sounds fantastic. And this is one of the things that I, pondered over for many, many years. Why is it that my mum died of cancer at 45 and my dad, who was an abuser, lived till he was 89, something like that, and was always angry and not the nicest of people in the world. My mum was just like an angel. So there were certain aspects as I was growing older where people were trying to say, God always takes the earth angels. God always takes the good first. All of these things that people try and understand. And I really wanted to walk a path of spirituality and really truly understand all of these things. So this lovely lady talks about why, bad people seem to live longer, and why good people seem to get dementia and all that. And it would seem at first, you look at it, it's really, really, you could look at it in so many ways, right? I mean, where do you start with that? It's such a deep dive with this one. But what this lady said in, I imagine, in a film was the devil thinks you're too good. You're beautiful. You're fantastic. And the devil does not want you to find God. Huh? So that again. Say that again. Right. You're so good that the devil wants you to continue doing all the bad things you're doing. Yeah, you're going to have to draw that one out for me, right? Sounds beautiful, but you're going to have to draw that out, because the reason why is because when it's too late, he's going to shut the door on you. Hang on a minute. No. Wouldn't it be the other way around? Wouldn't it be because you're a beautiful soul, he wants to cause you pain and suffering, and like none of it makes any sense. It doesn't make sense. However I say it, sounds ridiculous. None of it makes sense. So this is why I didn't listen to any of these. I wanted to find out what this is. And over the years, I noticed more and more and more that these beautiful people who always get hurt, who always get subjected to the worst things in their life, always felt pain, always suffered, always the worst things that happened to them, they were always really beautiful people. And I've read for some pretty devious people, and nothing goes wrong. They rip people off. I mean, I live on the Costa del Crime, so trust me, I've read for literally hundreds. I've read for criminals, I've read for gangsters, I've read for top Russian mafia, I've read for every scallywag you can imagine. And their only worry is, am I going to get caught, right? That's their only kind of worry. Am I going to get caught? That's all they're worried about. There's not fear of anything other than we'll get caught and thrown into prison. Most of them make fortunes here and then they run off again. Very few ever get caught. Very few. Most of them just seem to have what's called an incredible life. They really do. And they end up creating big corporations, and then they become massive corporations, and then they don't do anything, and then they just live off the money, and like, wow, these were criminals, and look at them all. And then there's people like you who work all day, who see people who are sad and upset, and you try and gift them, and you're kind to them, and you're trying to get on with your life, and you try to be as kind as you can to people, and it's freaking hard. There is a guy called Mark Passio. Look him up, Mark Passio. And he has, I don't know him that well, but I've seen a couple of it, 2 or 3 or 4 maybe of his videos. I can't watch them too long because he's a little bit like me when he rants, but times 100. So he's passionate and he has no time for people like me. None at all. He wouldn't even be interested in me at all, because he's come to a point in his life where he says, look, we're on this plane, we're born, and I think he believes in natural law, which me too. But he also believes that this world is a world that basically is a planet prison. And basically all this planet does is feed. We as good souls feed darkness and the evil and the system and the program and whatever you want to call it. And of course there is truth in that. There's no doubt there's truth in that. We see it every day, except the greatest trick the devil ever played was not to say it doesn't exist, but to actually tell you that love, kindness, giving, sharing doesn't exist. And it really feels like that, right? Although I'm not into the devil and I'm not into God, I am into the two, but in a different frequency. And they are, as far as I believe, a frequency that is in this ether. It's in this cosmos. 2 frequencies, good and evil. So there is a spirit sense of good and a spirit sense of evil, and it's everywhere. And where do these energies come from? They come from the cosmos. They're around us. They're everywhere. And part of that energy, if you see as an ocean of darkness and evil and good and light, those drops fall into these bodies, depending on whichever body it falls into. For what reason, we don't truly know. We believe it could be that we choose our family, but maybe there is truth that we are just reincarnating all the time. Maybe we do choose our family. Who knows? But at the end of the day, we do know this, that bad people seem to live a lot longer, without a doubt. Without a doubt. They don't seem to suffer with sickness and illness. They live for a ripe old age. And good people seem to suffer. So what's the difference between one and the other? Well, I still don't understand it, and I'm still struggling with it, and there's still certain things that I don't know. Maybe you can help me. Why is it that evil people do things and it does not affect their physical body? Why is it that we beautiful souls that get affected by people that do evil things to us, our body starts to deteriorate really fast? Weird. You can answer it this way. Well, that's because evil is inside that body and evil feeds from bad things, so it gets stronger and stronger. That's really kind of like where I'm at now. But people would sort of like disagree, and I don't have the answers, but I just find it fascinating. But what I do believe right now, where I feel I've come to, is that what this lady says is not true. What this lady says doesn't make any sense to me at all for what I've learned and what I've understood from good and bad people. So I believe that there is a spirit world which is dark. Those drops of the same spirit world goes into the bad person. That bad person has come into this world to cause chaos, to destroy, to feed, for power, greed, right? That's all they do. And the physical body will manifest the very energy that it's vibrating at. So it vibrates at a different energy from yours. So that vibration could possibly keep the body healthy because it vibrates. Imagine giving that body love. I've tried. I've seen how uncomfortable it is and how much it's like giving somebody an exorcism. They're fighting with you. They hate it. They can't stand. You give sage to somebody who's not a good person, or if they've got attachments, and see what happens. They'll freak out. I can't stand it. It stings. Get it out of my face. Like, whoa, hang on a minute. Calm down. What's wrong with you? It's just a bit of smoke from a plant. Are you all right, mate? No. You start to realize there's something a lot more happening here. Just like with Morsitsi. If you're anywhere near somebody with Morsitsi, you can get a really bad reaction from that other person. Like, what's wrong with you? But the point is, if you give me a hug, right? If you come and give me a hug and you're from my spirit world, so you're a drop in that body, you come and give me a hug and you're vibrating at happiness, you are going to make my body, my physical body strengthen. My immune system will go up 10-fold, 20-fold. I will feel better because your love is my love. We are of the same frequency and energy. Now, there's in-betweens here. It's not all black and white. There's plenty of grey. There are people in this world that come from my spirit world but have been abused so much, and there's so much fear in them that they repeat the same thing. So you know they're good at heart, but Jesus, you can't be anywhere near them because it drives you insane or you feel exhausted. So don't mix up the two, guys. There's a big difference. You know when you're in the company of evil or that drop of spiritual darkness that's inside them. Can't change that. I can spot that a mile. I can see you're not a good soul. You're not from my spirit world. So there's people, oh, she's not a nice, but hang on a minute, she's going through a lot of trauma. She is a good person inside. I can feel she's a good person. I know I can feel her soul, but her trauma, her program, is that what you're seeing? Superficial. It's in your face. It's different. There's a difference. When you're in the company of evil, you know when you're in the company of evil. So again, that's just another take on mine. I think spirituality to a degree is also a hijack, because I think, or just go and all the bad things will disappear. That's the biggest hijack ever. When we talk about religion, well, don't get me started with religion. As soon as you hit religion, it's like that is a hijack. That puts you into a box. You can't move any further than that religion, and that keeps you in line. You're right. That's it. That's all. You can't go any further. You can't talk anymore about anything. That's it. Oh, you're evil. Why? Because it says it in the Bible. Why? Because you're playing around with crystals. Hang on a minute. Don't confuse the Bible as if you know what somebody wrote down thousands of years ago. And in fact, if we look in the Bible, you'll find many places where crystals were actually sent by God. Yes, your God, who said, make this breastplate. Why? Because then the great healers or the great teachers will be able to communicate to me. Oh, really? Why is that then? Well, why? Yeah, they can communicate. God told you to make that breastplate. Yeah, it's in the Bible. So you can't go any further with that. You can't argue with a Bible basher. Impossible. Because if you said that to them, they say, but that's only that was for the head healer. That was for the big old. Well, what makes somebody a big because he's wearing a robe? Yeah, but he's wearing a robe and he's raping children all the time. Oh, the Vatican downstairs are doing terrible things. What are you talking about? So, we limit ourselves by reading books about, how you should behave. You don't need to nobody had to tell me as a child, oh, you need to know these 10 nobody needs to tell me that. And the 10 Commandments are bullshit anyway. If you know anything about it, read up on it. Just read up on Jordan Maxwell. They weren't even 10 Commandments. Didn't even come from Moses anyway. It's all BS, all of it. If you really, truly understand the Bible, it's fascinating, but it's not what people think. It's a metaphor. It's a code. If you can decode it, you will understand. Everybody who reads it has made a complete and utter mistake. And all these people who think that they've read 20, 30, 40 years, they haven't got a clue because they read it in a certain way. So I have no time for it, and I'm not educated that way, so I don't want to know about the Bible. But I do know something. Every time I talk to somebody who is a Bible basher, Jesus Christ, do they get angry? Do they get angry? Do they hate? Do they know how to hate? They know how to hate. They don't know how to love. They don't understand anything other than what words said in a book says. I don't need words to tell me how to love somebody. I don't need 10 Commandments to tell me that I shouldn't hurt somebody or cheat on their wife or kill somebody. What are you talking about? I wonder who that's for. I wonder what that was made for. So many reasons why these books were made, in my humble opinion. But yeah, interesting. Right. Well, I think that's it. Nice chat. Enjoyed it. And food for thought. Yes. I know some of you are going to be angry at me for what I've talked about tonight and disagree with me, but let's allow each other to disagree. I love talking to Catholics. I love talking to Muslims. I had a great chat the other day up there with my dear friend who's really carries the Quran with him everywhere he goes. We have chats all the time. We talked about this again because he was again confused, and I had my tech tight on and he's laughing again and go, I'm like, all right, come on. So I have to keep telling him, keep saying, you ever gone to Mecca? Have you ever had a good walk around there and then kissed the stone, the black stone? What is the black stone? I don't. I can't remember what it's called. Hajar al-Aswad. I'm dreadful at remembering stuff like that, but it interprets the black stone. The black stone is a tektite, guys. It's a tektite. So you can walk round, you can kiss the stone. I can wear this stone and you can say to me, and I can say, you go on your pilgrimage and you go and kiss the bloody same stone. It's a meteorite. Give me a break. Gotta shut up, Mark. You gotta shut up, mate. You gotta keep your mouth shut because you're gonna upset some people. You better shut up. Stop talking because they're gonna lock you up if you go to the UK for saying anything wrong. Welcome to the age. Welcome to the age of gagging humanity. Welcome to the age of lies. When lies become truths and truths become lies, we shall know that we are in the dark ages. And that's where we are right now. I don't think we've got long. I think we've got 5 to 10 years, and then you will not be able to talk like this. You will not hear people talking like this because they will either be in prison for 20 years or they'll be killed. It really seems to be that way right now. But there you go. That's the way it is. While there's still a little bit of time to have our freedom, let us speak our truth, whether it's the truth or it's somebody else's lie. Let people speak. I love chatting with different religions. I love chatting with people, different takes. I love chatting with people who have no belief system, who think that crystals are stupid and religion is stupid. Or I love chatting with everybody. I love conversation. I really do. And we should fight for everybody's right, even if they talk stupid or they don't talk stupid. They have a right to speak, and nobody, no demonic Luciferian system should stop us from doing that, because I'm telling you guys, this is pure evil, pure concentrated satanic evil that is now bringing forward its darkness. It is the same as killing all the healers thousands of years ago, the Friday the 13th, all of these things that they did to shut people up because they didn't want them speaking. Have a beautiful evening, guys, from my heart to yours. Hopefully we'll speak tomorrow when I will be interviewing the wonderful, wonderful Dominic and Chris from Sheep Farm at 8 o'clock Spain time, 7 o'clock UK time. I hope you can join me on here live. And if you've got any questions, please put them to me before, if you can. Send me an email with any questions that you want to ask Dom and Chris to info@markbayerski.com, or just if you're on any of the platforms, Facebook, YouTube, send me a message and I'll put the questions to them. So I'm looking forward to that. Really am. Have a lovely evening, whatever you're doing. Is it day 8 today? It's day 8 today of Mark Bayerski special offers. And today's special offer, I don't know if you know, if you go to markbayerski.com, you can buy this special offer and I will channel you a crystal as well as an oil. So I thought that was quite nice. So yeah, enjoy. Till tomorrow. Love you all. Thanks for joining me. And I don't apologize for upsetting you, but hey, if you are upset, why don't you think about it? Think about what I said and ponder on it. Go for a walk, sit by a tree and think about why I've upset you. What's upset you about my words? I do that every day. I call it checking in. Why was I upset? And I try and work on it. And it ain't easy, guys. It ain't easy. But once you start to do it, you start to find that it's liberating and you start to heal yourself more and more. Don't bottle up your frustrations. Don't bottle up your anger. It will only turn to cancer. Have a great day. Take care, guys. Bye for now.